Today's video, we're going to be walking through the Tascam 244. I ordered one of these on eBay. We are going to see if we can fix it. So if you are interested in getting into multi-track cassette recording and aren't sure if you want to take the plunge, hopefully this video will help. Out of all the models, my favorite is hands down the Tascam 244. This one came out in 1982. It's really cool. It's got VU meters on it. And recently they've been skyrocketing in value. Fully functional units now can get upwards of $1,000. I didn't want to drop that much on one when I was interested in this because obviously that's a lot of money for sort of antiquated technology. So I took a gamble and just bought a used one that was broken. And I just kind of taught myself how to repair it via YouTube videos. I had no experience fixing these. I stumbled upon this YouTube channel, Tetrakan Super Monoblock, really detailed videos on how to repair Tascams. He has some videos on recording too. And basically I learned everything from him. This video today though is gonna be a little bit different. I haven't really seen a lot of videos about what the actual process is from getting one in the mail, opening it up, and sort of just figuring out where to begin. One thing I've learned fixing 10 is that everyone has a different problem, and frankly, I learn something new every time I open one up or I'll run into a different problem. So for today's video, I actually ordered a 244 on eBay, and I'm gonna open it up with you guys, and we're gonna kind of take it from start to finish if we can. I'm gonna be doing this sort of in real time, so hopefully we'll get it to work. If you're interested in getting into Tascam Porta-Studio recording and are maybe a little bit hesitant to buy a broken one, this video is for you. All right, well here we have it. And first off, it was packed horribly, but that's okay. It's super dirty. There's dust, definitely needs a wipe down. And it's also missing all the screws on the back. It's missing a couple color caps, but that's okay. I actually have another spare unit that I kind of just pull parts from. So let's go ahead and get this plugged in and I'll show you guys step by step. All right, so the first thing I always do before I take anything apart is I just plug it in and make sure it turns on. You know, make sure kind of all the buttons are intact. Looks like this one actually has a tape in it already. And if you can see right there, the tape heads are stuck. So I kind of already have a suspicion about one of the things we're gonna need to do. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Okay, looks like all the lights on the VU meters are on, that's good. I can hear a buzzing sound already. That probably means that we're gonna have to replace some belts, which is okay. Right here you have the mixer section, you have your 4 inputs, and then this right here is the transport section with the tape. So next thing I'm gonna do before I even take it, start taking it apart, is I'm gonna test channels 1 through 4. I'm just gonna plug in my guitar, make sure we're getting a signal. I'm gonna test all the pots, I'm gonna test all the EQs as well, the panning, just to make sure the mixer section is good. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, this is what the back looks like. I know it looks intimidating, but it's really not super complicated. This right here is the DBX noise reduction, and under that, you have your channels 1, 2, 3, 4. Fortunately for this unit, signals were coming through, so I'm not really gonna mess with this right now. There's a way to get to the knobs from the front. I'm gonna actually take this whole metal thing out and go ahead and clean it that way. So good news is, don't really have to mess with this side. This side right here is the tape transport, and if you buy a 244, like 98% chance you're gonna have some issues with the transport unless it's refurbished or you're buying it fully functional. These units again are like 40 years old, so a lot of the rubber components fail. This right here is the control belt, and this controls the playhead. So that tape that's stuck there, it's stuck and the playheads won't move. It's because this belt is not, has pretty much disintegrated. You have the capstan belt right here as well. It wraps around this way, and that is also missing. That controls your playback speed, so we're gonna have to replace that. This rubber turns into this tar. I highly recommend wearing gloves. This stuff will stain your clothes. It's really hard to get out, and you're also gonna wanna clean, like if you can see there's sort of black gunk There's black gunk on this flywheel right here. You are gonna want to use isopropyl alcohol, and you need to clean the shit out of these, because if you don't have them super clean, you might get some wow and flutter and things like that. So that looks like 2 issues for sure. The next thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take the tape transport out, because it's just easier to work with. I'm not gonna show you specifically how to do that. I'll link to Tetrakan's explanation, because again, this isn't supposed to be a super technical video. My guess is that since these 2 rubber parts are disintegrated, we're also gonna have issues with the idler tires in the front and the pinch roller, but we will cover that when we get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off, and then we'll have this transport out of here. All right guys, I got the tape transport out, and my dumbass decided not to wear gloves, and I already have this black tar on my fingers. So again, don't be like me. Also be really careful when you're cutting the zip ties. Tetrakan will explain that a little bit better. But here's the back that I showed you earlier. We have this front piece right here, and right here you can see the idler tires. These control the playback. These are also disintegrated, so I'm gonna have to take these gears out and clean them. You can also see the pinch roller. This kind of comes in contact with the tape and helps move it through. That's also completely disintegrated, so no surprise. It's also kind of dirty. These are the tape heads right here. I'm probably gonna wipe those down too. So let's go ahead and get this all cleaned up. This is definitely the most tedious part in the process, and then we'll go ahead and plug everything back in. One word of warning too is a lot of these screws, you definitely want to make sure you're keeping track of everything. And a lot of these pieces, you definitely don't want to lose them. Springs, little clips that hold the gears in place. Replacement stuff is really hard to find, so go really slow. Make sure that you're keeping track of all your parts, because that can be a beast in itself. All right guys, it's the next day. Went ahead and cleaned out the tape transport, got new idler tires in, changed the pinch roller, and then I changed the bands on the back. What I did after that was I removed the screws in the back. Again, the Tetrakan video will show you how to do that. And I went ahead and took the top part off. So what I'm gonna do now, you can see this is super dirty. I'm gonna wipe all this down. I'm gonna also spray deoxit. There's 2 different kinds. There's one that's for the faders, and there's one that's for the pots. Gonna make sure everything's clean. Hopefully that'll get rid of some of the scratchiness. Then I'm gonna put it back together, and we're gonna see if this works. All right guys, so it's been a few more days, and good news, we are in business. You can see we got rewind, fast forward, and play working. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video that every time I fix one of these, I run into a new problem. In this instance, I really had to get into the idler tires. There's a metal bearing up at the top. That is the mechanism that provides power for the wheels to spin. It had a little bit of like greenish residue on it, and it wasn't making proper contact with the rubber. So thus, my tape transport wasn't working properly. So really had to drill in and clean that. So that's something new that I learned, but hopefully this video helped you. I think if you're interested in getting into tape recording and want to take the jump into buying a used one, you certainly can do it. Again, check out the Tetrakan links in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and see y'all soon.